Good morning. It is July 31st, 2026. And there are a few of us here, a handful of us here live, um, and and others hopefully will be joining us through the recordings. Um, and today we are commemorating the the end of an era, the closing of the Nowhere Village site. And we just did a meditation reflecting on who we were 7 years ago and how that has changed. That's about how long it's been since Nowhere Village was conceived and created and opened. Um, and for many of us, we were practicing together actually before that. And some joined a little later. But the point is so 7 is a nice, it's one of those nice numbers. 7 days to the week. It's considered a sacred number for different cycles and things. And so yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot, and the overwhelming feeling that I get as I've been reflecting back is one of a great healthy pride. Um, we do these practices, mostly quietly at home without fanfare, and often alone. It's often not easy. It's often not fun, right? And yet we keep coming back again and again. And I've been reflecting on how much my these practices and this time that we have all spent together over the years, and that we've spent individually doing the work, just how much that's made me who I am and how proud I am of that. And I've been reflecting, as you might imagine, on the kind of the journey of this, and why, like, I was started off gangbusters with this thing, and we have all these new members coming in, especially during the beginning of the pandemic. And um, I was teaching like multiple classes a day on Nowhere Village, and you know just this was my whole full-time job, and I was doing it all the way. um, and then as my life shifted, it took more and more of kind of a backseat to other work. And just kind of thinking about like how that happened and why that is. Um and I think that it's just how it's just growth. It's just the way that life is. It unfolds in these phases, and we need different things at different times, and um different things need us at different times. And I think for me in my personal journey, when I started a lot of this, I was learning, and then basically kind of like right away coming to you guys and presenting and learning it more deeply with you guys. Um, and and so my very personal inner work was was made was made public. Hanging out with you, with my intimate crew here, doesn't feel public at all, but you know what I mean. Like I had to like sell courses and retreats and sell Nowhere Village as a site. And I think along the way, I really needed to kind of reclaim my spiritual work, and my really, this is therapy for me, and I also go to therapy, but that this kind of therapeutic healing journey that I was on needed to become less and less public and less infused with my career and my work. And I've been reflecting on how that's healthy, right? That's good, it's natural. And I along the way was following the path. And 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 now I feel like I'm at a place in my life where um this constant, I mean, I meditate every day, I do my yoga every day, I do my journaling, but um, my whole life isn't sort of about sort of introspection and evolving myself and kind of improving myself. Um, and I feel like my life now, I mean, I have done a lot of the metaphors from the meditation today came from like, I now own a house and I, um, it's actually the 2 year anniversary of me closing on this house today as well. And I have, um, I have work that my main work is around theater and education and you know, uh, I guess what I'm saying, like my day to day things are not all about meditation and spiritual life and Sanskrit texts. And yet, every single thing I do, every student interaction I have, um, every moment I spend maintaining my house or fixing an emergency, the practices are what I'm doing. They are the foundation. They are the I have built a person uh, who has a complete life, and um, I get to live in what I spent so much time kind of obsessively building. Right. Um, this is my little closing minute or two of this to kind of bring it home and also just share with you guys. I lost two. I have three uncles. I lost two of them in the last handful of years. Um, um, 2022 and then 2024, and now my uncle Greg passed away, or very early Monday morning, and we had time for all the family to come. And a lot of my family doesn't come to Fort Worth very much from their fancy coastal states, and including my dad. My dad had never seen my house. Um, and my dad's like a construction guy my whole life. He and my brothers built things. And anyway, um, basically, I've been wanting to show off my house to my dad and hadn't had the opportunity, and he hadn't had the opportunity. And my uncle was sick, and everybody descended. My dad actually came and stayed in my house with me, and and a bunch of other relatives also. And I got to host because I just happened to live 10 minutes from the hospital where my uncle was, and became kind of the essential part of that. Um, and just everyone being here and seeing each other. I was also, and after not seeing each other for a little while and sharing our lives with each other in this way and celebrating my uncle as he took his last breaths, um, again was this moment of kind of commemoration, of taking stock, of checking in. And a lot of them haven't seen me since I was more deeply kind of in the crisis of those few years after my divorce. Everything was upended. I was moving all the time. Everything was so unstable for me. And I felt unstable in myself. And it was clear in all of my surroundings. And it just, my uncle's passing was very sad, all the things that brought us together were, but also just when we come together and we go look around and go, look, but look at what you've been building and look at how far you've come. And I'm so glad you have a roof over your head and roots under you now. And time that we didn't show up for each other or time that we missed water under the bridge, here we are. That moment of sort of just coming home to ourselves, to each other. Um, we don't get that every day. We don't get that every year. But when we get those moments, I just think it's so important to like take that snapshot of where we're at, to look back and see how far we've come, to celebrate and to thank ourselves because we did this. right? We built this. And to remember, and when we start to have the anxiety about the future, that what we've built will continue to serve us. Be the love, be the light. And as my teacher, Adyashanti, would always say, enjoy it. He'd always say that, usually like at the end of the day or at the end of a talk, or right where he kind of send us off. Enjoy it. Take the time to look around and go, this is a great place to be, and relish it.